What's up, YouTube? Kidmoto22 here, coming to you today with a video about ear protection. So what I have for you today is these. These are the Eargasm earplugs. Yep, you're seeing it right. Eargasm. We got these for our trip that we're going to be taking here pretty soon to Duluth, Minnesota. I talked about that in my last post, that I'm going to be taking a long distance trip, my wife and I are, and we got these earplugs, hopefully for a little bit of wind protection. So we're going to go and do a little short ride and check out what these are going to be like. See you soon. All right, so Mrs. Kidmoto and I are trying out the Eargasm earplugs. Yep, I said it right, Eargasm. They're quite literally the worst name ever. Or maybe it's the best name, I don't know. But I would say my first impression is they do a great job at getting rid of the white noise, kind of the wind noise. So I can hear the bike really well. I can hear the traffic and the cars around me really well. I can't hear really anything far away, but certainly all the traffic up close I can hear. I can hear the bike running. I can shift just fine. And we have our comms on. So I can hear Mrs. Kidmoto when she's talking to me. I'd have to say that so far, initially when we first started testing these, that I can hear her, but it's pretty quiet compared to the normal volume of the Decardo unit.
Same for me. I can hear you, but your voice is more muted.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, I guess.
Yep, yeah. I mean, I was interested to see how they would be, because the speakers are obviously right by our ears for when we're talking. And I'm not being affected by the wind noise at all. I don't hear any wind noise.
No, I don't hear the wind either, really. Well, I can't say I don't hear any. I do hear some.
Right, but it's not distracting.
But no, it's not, right. Definitely would be nice on a longer ride to have the option to tune out the wind a little bit, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, yeah, exactly. And I think my first impression is I don't know if I would want to ride with these in all the time, to be honest with you.
Right.
Because I think that...
Especially two-up riding.
Right. Yeah, I think if it was just me, I might wear them. I might wear them a little bit more. So I might wear these down on the trip to MMM. You know, with putting that many miles on, I might not wear them for a full day, but certainly for part of the day. And I think if it was really windy, I would wear them more if it was really windy, because there's obviously going to be a lot more noise.
Right. But for us just riding together to go out for just a fun, chill ride might not really be necessary.
Right. Yep. And like today, for instance, there's really not a lot of wind. So I think that using them on a ride like today, I don't know if they would be totally necessary, because there's not a lot of wind, so I don't think it's creating an extraordinarily high amount of wind noise that would be bothersome.
Right. But on the interstate.
Right. I think we'll go straight out of town.
Or the highway, whichever.
Yeah, we'll go straight out of town, and we'll see what that feels like when we're riding that way, and see if there's wind noise that is too much to be able to hear each other talk.
Right.
Because that would be, I think, that would certainly be a downfall if we got out on the interstate and or even the highway and we couldn't hear each other anymore. That's going to be a bit of a bummer, but I think that because it's cutting so much of that background noise out, I kind of feel like I'm still going to be able to hear you.
Right. Well, and if you can't, I guess if our road trip doesn't go well, on the way back, you just, you know, put in the earplugs and be like, sorry, I can't hear you. Got the earplugs in.
That might that might be very effective. I hadn't thought about that. That's definitely a plus.
Because typically when we ride, we have a lot of conversation and chat.
Right.
And maybe, you know, maybe after 4 straight days of that, no, I'm just kidding. But that option is there, just in case.
I guess so. I think, yeah, so first impression, they fit really good. So there's 2 different sizes of plugs that they come with.
I'm wearing the small.
Yep, so Mrs. Kidmoto wore the smalls, and I wore just the average size, I guess, that they come with. And we ordered the clear ones, so the insert piece itself is clear, and then the little, I guess, filter piece that's in there is blue. You can pay a little bit extra and get ones that are all clear. I guess it didn't really matter to me. You can't really see them either way. But yeah, so
as far as comfort in my ears, I'm not like, I don't love wearing earplugs, so I can feel them, but they're not uncomfortable. I think I would just get used to it.
Right, yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not a big fan of earplugs either, but I think they would definitely be something that I could get used to wearing if I had to. Yes, I feel like just initially when I'm first getting up to speed right here, I feel like it might be a little bit more difficult to hear you when we get going.
Should I talk louder?
We'll see, maybe.
Okay.
So go ahead and talk now. Can you hear me now?
It is hard to hear you. You're breaking up.
Yeah, I agree. So I like them for blocking out the wind. I mean, I'm not hearing any wind at all.
Right. Well, and there's a windmill up ahead, so people can kind of get a feel of how windy it is, I guess.
Yeah, there is a windmill going, so there is wind today. There's always wind, but it's not as windy as it's been the last few days now. So I'm feeling wind. I'm going 70 miles an hour. I'm feeling wind, obviously, and I'm hearing it, but I'm not getting that kind of that feeling in your ears of the extra wind. But I'm not, I'm not being affected by it necessarily, so it's definitely is providing protection from the loud noises you typically hear in your helmet when you're riding. So there's definitely a protection factor, I think, that these are really good for, and if you were riding solo, these would be perfect.
Yeah.
And I can hear you. It's just more difficult to hear you, which, I guess I would have to say that I wonder how, if that difficulty hearing you would be the same if I had all the wind noise in my ears right now.
True.
I don't know, it's hard to tell.
Well, and if you were on a long trip and you weren't really wanting to talk the whole time, you can talk well enough to communicate back and forth if somebody needs to stop or whatever. They work for that too.
Right. No, yeah, you're
completely right there, that you certainly could hear enough to communicate to somebody or talk to them if you needed to pull over, or take a break, or go to the bathroom, or whatever you needed. There's
Right.
It's not blocking out enough of it that you can't hear. That's for sure. It's just not as clear as you'd normally hear the communicator.
True.
There's some sand up here, so I'm going to take it a little bit easier on this corner.
Plan.
So I guess
one week from today we'll be hopefully in Duluth by now.
Yeah. So I guess my impression is, I don't think I would wear these for riding around town, and I don't think I would wear them for a short trip. But I think that having the option, and to be able to wear them on a long trip, if you felt like you were, if you felt like you were getting a lot of buffering from the wind, I think having them is a good idea. And certainly riding solo, I think would be a good idea to have them for something like that too.
Right. So for maybe your commute to work some days, not that that's a long trip, but if it was a windy day, it might be nice to have.
Yeah. Yep.
That option.
Yep. And riding back and forth to work, like you said, the commute, that would be good. Yeah, I mean, for what they are, I think they do a great job, and I like them. But I don't think they're not an everyday riding thing, at least not for me.
Right.
So there you go. That's our first impression of the Eargasm earplugs, I guess you'd call them.
All right, so we're back. I just wanted to do another kind of ending review on these, just to kind of let you know, give you my final thoughts on what the Eargasm earplugs are like. So again, they come in a really nice package. I thought that the package was really, kind of good for what they cost. Kind of give you a little bit of what's on the inside of this. They have a little instruction card and another little advertisement in there. The inside of the package looks like that, which I thought, again, was very nice packaging for this product. The earplugs themselves are just in a little, kind of a little plastic Ziploc bag, and I'll get you a shot of what these actually look like. So this is what they actually look like right here. So you can kind of get a good look at that. And then there's a little tab right there that you can kind of see, and that's to get it in and out of your ear a little bit easier. The end blue piece that you see here is the filter. That's a filtering device that comes with the earplugs that helps filter that white noise. The other feature about these that I liked is they have another set on the inside for size. So there's a smaller set in there for those of you that have smaller ears. And the last thing was the little metal container that they come with, okay? And again, see if I can get you a good shot of that. That's kind of a little metal container. This just opens right up, and it's a really handy container to store these for when you're on the road or whatever you're going to be using them for. So that's kind of the packaging for these. So for what I paid for them, I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to absolutely do the job that we want them to do on our long trip. I think for myself, I would not use these in-town riding. I probably wouldn't use these on a daily basis. These things, for me at least, are really going to be met for those days when you're really on the road for a long time. You really want to get that wind protection that's gonna protect you on a long day or a long ride. I think that's when I would find them the most effective. Although I would have to say that commuting back and forth to work when I know I'm going to be solo, I might use them for something like that. And I will probably use them, and I'll bring them with me when I head down to MMM, and that's the Midwest Moto Meetup in this September. I will likely use them for that too. that type of riding where you're on the road all day long and outside in the elements, and you could probably use a little bit of that extra protection, would be a good time to use those earplugs. So for what you pay, $30 to $35, I think they're a really good product for that. Full transparency, I am not being sponsored by this company. I just wanted to give you a review. I've not used ear protection in the past, but I thought it would be a good idea to have some for this ride, just to give my wife that option in case she wanted to use it, and present that option for myself too, really. So if you use ear protection or you don't or do like ear protection, just let me know. Hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think about ear protection on your rides. And if you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. If you want more content, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll know when I upload new videos. And I'll put another link to my last video where I talk about the trip that we're going on, specifically why I got these earplugs, because we're going on our first trip together. I've ridden on longer trips in the past, but my wife and I are going on our first trip together. And so that was one of the reasons why we went out and got them. So let me know what you think. This is Kidmoto. I'm out.